Welcome back. You are listening to the Mari Mukwanda Show on Salam Media. It is 11:39 on this Tuesday, the 13th of October, 2020. It is time for our marriage segment, and today we are talking about how to obtain a healthy marriage, a healthy, successful marriage, with Aadila Pretorius, who is a counselor, coach, communication and relationship skills. She's a counselor and coach in communication and relationships, and also personal excellence, of healing body, mind, spirit, life, and relationships. And she is joining me on the line right now via StreamYard. Assalamu alaikum, Adila.
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much for having me, Mariam.
Alhamdulillah, it's a pleasure for joining me once again. Success in a marriage does not come merely through finding the right mate, but through being the right mate. That is a quote that I came across, and I thought I'd start the interview with that quote. And I think before we delve deeper into a successful marriage or a healthy marriage, let's break down what the word success is. Like in general, what does the word success mean?
I think for most people, it's really being in a state of absolute acceptance of who you are, of being happy with your achievements, where you are heading in life, having that state of inner peace and calm and equilibrium of knowing you are doing what you are loving. Because for so many people, it's doing stuff that they don't like and then expecting themselves to feel successful. Success, really, for me personally, is to do what you love, but at the same time to be at a place of inner peace and tranquility, because that is ultimate for me. The ultimate success is to be in a space in this worldly plane that we find ourselves, but to navigate through life keeping your peace, your equilibrium, and obviously your relationship, your spiritual relationship with your creator. So yes, that's from on a very broad perspective, the meaning of success for me personally.
All right. And when we talk about a successful marriage, what does it look like? What does a successful marriage, a successfully healthy marriage looks like? What is it made up of?
I would say, many people have various definitions of what a successful marriage looks like. And to achieve that happiness, that togetherness, that honor and respect for each other, which is part of the components, is that we need to have a vision for where and how do we want our relationship to be. Um, are we on the same page when it comes to our values? Do we understand our needs and our wants? So there's various aspects that comes into play when we're talking about we having a successful marriage. So in other words, are both parties individually happy as individuals, and are they happy within the relationship? And are they achieving the goals and the visions that have they set for themselves, and have they actually set those visions? How well do they know each other as well? And there's a whole range of different things that couples can do to establish a more happy and successful relationship.
All right. Speaking on the topic of happiness in the relationship, sometimes people say that you have to make yourself happy before you can get happiness from someone else. So, how do you determine happiness in the relationship? How do both of you become happy being with each other?
Miriam, that's a wonderful question, and I'm so happy that you've asked it, because remember one thing: in life, you are responsible for your own happiness. Number one, right? So it is correct. Your spouse is there to make you happier, right? So, in
Yes.
other words, you have to be at a place where you are working towards your ambitions, your dreams, your goals, but now you are in a relationship where you are married. So, it's very important for you also to know what are the dreams, the visions, the ambitions of your partner, and to also encourage each other to achieve your individual goals. And simultaneously, it's important for you to have your own life, have your own friends, have your hobbies, have your interests, you know, be a full, complete person within yourself. Know who you are, know what makes you happy, and at the same time, know that about your partner and honor that within your partner. And then also have your joint goals and ambitions and vision that you want to work for. So your partner is here to make you happier, but ultimately you must make yourself happy first as an individual. If that, I hope that answers what the answer that you are looking for.
And it does make sense because if you are happy, if you make yourself happy, if you put yourself first, you will be able to contribute to the relationship even better to ensure the success of the relationship because now you are healthy, you are happy, and you know where you are and where you want to be in the relationship. There's a lot of advice on how to have a healthy and successful marriage, but is there a one size fits all approach? I'd like you to hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break and we'll continue afterwards.
Humanitarian journalism.
As the crisis in Yemen continues, 80% of the population are in desperate need of basic necessities. The Africa Muslims Agency teams are on the ground undertaking emergency relief efforts. Come to the aid of the people of Yemen by donating any amount now towards food, shelter, and medication. Contact AMA now on 011 834 8685. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Dad, well, I've been chatting with an investment broker today and...
Broker? Did the broker tell you that our economy is a mess? There's bushfires in Australia, America wanted World War III, and now the coronavirus is traveling around the world.
Well, I also thought about purchasing some crypto.
Crypto? What's that, like another pyramid scheme? I don't trust what I can't see.
There's an apartment in Belito.
So all your family will be asking to stay there for free. And what if the government takes it away, eh?
Dad, I don't think it works like that.
I'll tell you what works. Gold. At your age, I invested in gold coins and it paid for your university fees and your wedding. No contracts, no agreements. Your investment is in your hands and you own it. With a 70% growth in only 5 years, do you still doubt gold investment? Contact RJ Coin today, 031 202 4701, or visit them at 151 Stephen Lamini Road in Musgrave, Durban. Randery Jewelers Gold Coin Exchange, your passport to gold investment.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
Welcome back. We are talking successful marriages today on the marriage segment. And joining me is Aadila Pretorius, who is a marriage relationship coach, marriage coach, communication as well, communication coach, personal excellence, a lot more services that she provides, and she'll share them with us a little later on. But Aadila, before the break, I asked you about tips for a successful marriage, and is there a one-size-fits-all approach?
I think more than anything, we need to realize that as individuals, we all have our own unique thumbprint. And so too, we each have our own unique soul's purpose, own level of spiritual, emotional, physical, and intellectual level of evolution where we are at. So yes, I will be sharing some tips that we all can implement. But always remember, we all are always at different levels of these evolutional stages in our lives. So yes, let me go through the list and see what works for you. And remember, life is a process. It is all about that journey of learning, of trying, of striving. So yes, you may have this vision, I want this perfect marriage. It's how to get there that's important. And like I said, each person will grow at their own pace. So to start off, and I think we touched on it in a previous program where we said spending time alone, and one of that can include, for example, having regular date nights. Now, yes, perhaps before the children were there, that might have been easier. But what do you do now to still make that moment and that time special between you and your partner? And we call them mini date nights. For example, when the children are asleep, make sure you have the popcorn, the cold drink, the chocolate, and the blanket if it's perhaps a cold night, just for you and hubby to spend quality time together. In other words, make that concerted effort to spend time together alone. Whether it is a mini date night, like I just explained, going for a lunch or a coffee or taking a walk, but it's also to make sure that you as a person and your partner can see that you both making that effort. And especially, we know that men are very visual, and most women are as well. Are you still putting on that pretty outfit? Do you do your hair? Do you do your makeup? Do you still make the effort as a lady, as a woman, so that your man can see you are doing this for him? And vice versa for him as well. It's are both parties. When you first started, as a couple going out, and in the early days of your marriage, the effort. Are you still doing that effort? And that's really one of the things that we need to ask ourselves. Am I putting in that effort? Then, of course, like I said earlier, the individual growth, our individual dreams and visions and goals. Do we know what is important to our partners? Maybe your husband likes to go to the gym and work out because he needs that physical release of tension and pressure. So do you encourage, do you help him? And the same for the husband. Does he support her in her hobbies and encourage her so that she gets whatever satisfaction she gets out of doing a certain hobby? Then, of course, also the sharing of housework, which was another topic we spoke about some weeks ago, is when it comes to house chores and children chores, we live in a day and age where a lot of the couples, both the husband and the wife, are both working. So there's nothing wrong for a man to pitch in at times and say, I'll do the cooking. Why don't you take a break tonight? And vice versa, where we can pitch in to help each other in that sense, and also to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. I'm not saying the husband must cook every night for you, but at least he should have a go-to. I know how to make spaghetti and mince or something of the like. Then, of course, a big issue in that does happen in couples is our financial issues, the financial pressures that we have. And this is where we need to be able to have a strong foundation in our relationship so that we can navigate through these conversations. Because especially when it comes to finances, now again, we're speaking to a very broad genre of people that are listening to the show. So yes, there are people that do have the thought pattern of, no, I'm the male, I provide, and the finances is for me to worry about, and I don't want you to even know about it. And and that's for them to live in that manner if that works for them. However, for many couples, it is very important that we start to talk about our finances and we start recognizing what are our individual needs, what our individual wants are, what is our capabilities to contribute, and then also to come to a space and a place of what is our joint vision? Where do we want to take our finances towards? Where do we want to live? What type of house do we want to have? All those type of things, it needs to be within a safe environment where we can talk about these things. In other words, what is important is, do you know what is your savings plan as a couple? Do you ever talk about what are your monthly do you have a list of your monthly expenses, your debit orders that go off, your groceries, your school bills? Do you have specific debts that you're busy paying off? And to write it down, to have clear a clear list of what are these type of expenses, what do we have left at the end of the month, and what are we going to do with the little surplus money or perhaps a lot of surplus money that you may have left, and how are we going to prioritize that money so that individual needs are met, children's needs are met, and our joint vision can be met. And beyond that, it's what is your plan for wealth building for your future, for your old age? I know for many of us, it's very easy to say, no, my children will look after me, and is it really fair? I mean, surely while we are at this age, we can start to plan for our future. What type of investments are you looking at? And like Warren Buffett, we know is one of the most wealthiest men in the world, said, don't put all, especially when it comes to investments, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So diversify your financial portfolios as well. So it's very, very important that we look at multiple streams of incomes as well, and discuss that with your partner. Make sure that you're both on the same page, because ultimately, if you have the same vision and you know what you want to work towards, you also need to talk, okay, but my income at this point is at this level. We need to increase our income so that we can achieve the following set of items we would like to buy. So that's the one part of it as well. And then, of course, it's also to look at, have you planned for the unexpected? What do you have in place? I mean, if death should occur, if your spouse falls away, do you have surplus funds for you and the kids in order to survive? Now, many of us don't believe in life policies, etc. And again, it's people's choices. However, how prepared are you for the unexpected? So beyond talking about death and these type of things, I mean, God forbid, and Almighty Allah forbid, but what if divorce happens? Do we still live in the day and age where we just send the wife back to her parents? What if her parents is no longer? Or they can't look after her? So it is very, very important that we do prepare ourselves, and especially, talking from a female perspective as well. Does she have certain finances for herself as well, should that unfortunate event perhaps visit her? Because when you go through divorce and these type of things, a lot of negative stuff can come out, a lot of egotistical stuff can come out, and many times it could be because of financial reasons people get divorced. So it's very important that financial planning involves both individuals as well as you as a joint force. Then, of course, we also talk about more healthy habits in the couple. That's very important, is that open communication. Do we talk about our emotional needs? Do we assert ourselves? What do I believe? What do I like? What do I dislike? Assertiveness does not mean to be disrespectful. It is very much being able to express yourself without feeling, you need to hold back or you can't say something. It's being able to be yourself and to have discussions. And yes, and how do you talk about behaviors that your partner might have, male or female, husband or wife, in a manner without causing confrontation. And that again, it is part of assertiveness and how to do it in a respectful manner so that you keep the relationship. And then, of course, there is, for many, it's also the creating the intimate moments. And when I talk about that, I'm not purely only referring to being in the bedroom, is do you hold hands? Do you snuggle when you sit on the couch? These type of things. Do we make time for physical touch when your husband comes home? Do you give him that smile, that hug, that kiss? He might have had a difficult day, but so you may have had the same. So are you spiritually and emotionally connecting to understand where your partner is at? Yes, initially, when we get into a relationship, we may not always know our partner that well, but over time, when you start reading and understanding your partner, is to know, okay, she seems to be in a bad mood, something might have upset her, and it's know when to give her the space or to give him the space, and not to go and pressurize, no, talk, and force the issues out. Sometimes that person is not ready to talk about it. And then, of course, it is also important, just staying on the topic of creating those intimate moments is, if your partner likes a foot rub, do you go and do the physical touch of rubbing the feet or rubbing the shoulders or the neck of your husband, after a hard day's work? That physical touch is what also creates that bond, that nearness between couples. And then, of course, and going through the last two is, do you show appreciation? Do you use the words, thank you for doing this, can you please get me that, would you mind, that courtesy, that to show that love and that appreciation. Because remember, you both are working in this relationship, whether you are a working person, whether a lot of the women are at home, they're looking after the children, and that in itself is a 24-hour job. It does not mean that if you are a housewife raising children that you are not working. So all of those things needs to be appreciated as well as for what the husband does. And then lastly, I would say is very vital within our relationships is, do we really know the differences between us as women and as men? Because we are biologically very different and we are wired different psychologically as well. And we need to understand those differences. One simple example is, when a woman, for example, is stressed, the best way for a woman to get stress relief, and I mean, Miriam, I'm sure you know as well, we like to talk about it. I need to talk to my friend. I need to tell her this and this and this happened, But do we always want advice? No, we don't always want somebody to fix it. We know in our mind what I need to do to fix this. I just need the stress relief. I just need to be validated and heard. And then so too, now if we come to men, when a man has a problem, very few men will come and say to you, I've got all these issues and I need to talk about it. Most men retreat. They go within themselves and they withdraw from you, not because they don't love you or they don't trust you. Remember, for a man, it's got a lot to do with their competence, with their show of, I've got this. And it is to give him that space. The worst you can do is to say, tell me what's wrong. Because that's your way of dealing with stress, but not necessarily his way. So these are some of the tips, and it's quite a mouthful that I've just shared. But these are really some of the stuff that couples need to start looking at so that they can create that solid foundation, so they know how to navigate through these difficult times and issues that may come up within a relationship.
All right, Aadila, time is not with us. So can you quickly share your contact details for our listeners and our viewers?
Yes, thank you so much. My cell number is 0721 990 432. I'll repeat 0721 990 432. And my email address is Aadila, Aadila, and then at the Phoenix sign, the at sign, sorry, it's Aadila at phoenix-life.co.za. Phoenix, Phoenix, then the hyphen life.co.za, or you can also visit our website at www.phoenix-life.co.za. Thank you so much, Maria. Much appreciated.
Shukran, it's been a pleasure, and have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Same to you. Shukran.
That was Aadila Pretorius from Phoenix Life. You can send her an email if you'd like to know more, or you can give her a call on 072 199 or send an email to Aadila at phoenix-life.co.za. That's Aadila with a double A. You are listening to the Mara Mukwanda Show on Salam Media. We will be right back.